Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well. So I'm currently shooting next week's video this week. So I'm going to quickly jump on here and share 3 filmmaking tips for beginner filmmakers that will make your life so much easier. Trust me, see if I knew these tips back when I started, it would have been a game changer. Hear me out. So if you're just getting started in video and filmmaking, your camera has so many settings that can make your life way easier or way harder when it comes to editing and post. So today I'm going to share 3 tips that I wish I knew when I started, and a little bonus tip at the end that can literally save your whole project. Now, one of the first mistakes I see beginner filmmakers make is leaving their camera on auto white balance. Now, auto white balance might seem super convenient. You don't need to worry about it, but actually you do. See, when you leave it on auto white balance, your camera is always searching, trying to refresh that white balance, which means if it detects maybe a little warm light in there, it can change your white balance from looking normal to turning it super blue, making your subject go from nice and tanned to peely-wally or even a smurf, which isn't a good look on anybody, unless you are filming a smurf. So what you do is you set your white balance before you shoot and you leave it. That way your camera's white balance is locked off through the duration of your shot, maybe even your shoot. And you don't need to worry about any nasty colour shifts when you're coming to colour grading your footage. Now, I say this from experience. This happened to me just 2 weeks ago. I left my camera on auto white balance when I was shooting a client, and from the start of one of his clips to the end of it, the white balance changed completely. And see, trying to fix that was an absolute headache. Always remember to lock your white balance down. Now, your camera has these standard settings. They're perfect for beginners. They have like incandescent light bulb, they have daylight, they have cloudy, they have sunny, all these different things. So just look at your scene, pick which one's right, and roll with it. Trust me and thank me later. So speaking of strange skin tones, now this is going to sound like a little bit of an odd segue, but setting the exposure of your skin tones correctly in camera can take your project from looking amateur to this guy's done this before. And a super easy way of doing this is by using zebras. Now, generally speaking, you want to have your skin tones between 60 to 70 IRE. This means they won't be too underexposed and they won't be too overexposed. They'll be just on the money. Now, you don't really need to know what IRE means. It's just a general term for exposure. So 60 to 70 is where you're aiming for. So in your camera, I've set my zebras to be 65 plus or minus 5, which means anything within that exposure range will come up with these little zebra lines on. So what that means is that when I'm setting up a shot and my subject's face has got these zebra lines on them, I'm perfectly exposed. And like I mentioned, I can toggle this on and off by using one of the custom buttons on my camera, which makes it super easy. So yeah, use zebras. Seriously, they're a godsend. Now my last point here is don't fear ISO. Okay? I see a lot of beginners stressing out about their camera's native ISO is 800 or 3200. Your base ISO basically means you're going to get the least amount of noise in your image at that designated ISO. That doesn't mean you shouldn't use any others. Like I've found that, especially with the A7 IV, it's got a dual base ISO of 800 and 3200, and I can generally use anywhere from 800 up to 6400, maybe a little bit more, without experiencing any major noise. Especially if it's a bright sunny day, you're not going to need that anyway. I think your camera is a lot better than you think it is. And seriously, with the denoiser tools that they have in like editing programs like DaVinci and Premiere now, like you can get away with a lot. Don't be scared of bumping up that ISO if you can. So referring back to my last point, if you're exposing your image at ISO 800 and it's too dark, you're not getting those zebras on the face, don't be scared to bump that ISO up. Your footage is going to look so much nicer having correctly exposed skin tones than underexposed footage and you're trying to crank up this muddy dark puddle to the correct exposure. Don't be scared of ISO. It's a tool. Use it. Okay, my last little bonus tip for you here is audio. Now, your footage can be grainy, it can be underexposed, it can be overexposed, it can look horrendous, but if your audio sounds amazing, nobody's going to care. Well, some people might care, but it's going to seem so much better. You can have really bad footage with amazing audio is so much better than amazing footage and terrible audio. Trust me. Now, I usually like to have 2 audio sources, so I've got a backup. So I'll usually have a mic on the camera that I'm shooting on, and then either a lav mic that's recording internally, or an overhead mic like I'm using right now, recording to an external recorder. That way, if one of them fails, I've still got a backup. And the new DJI mics, like I use the DJI Mic 2s, they record 32-bit float internally, which means they're near impossible, if not impossible, to clip. So you can always recover super loud audio. If someone just ends up shouting in your scene, you can bring that down and it's not going to sound bad, which is amazing. So yeah, there's 4 tips for you there, guys, that will hopefully make your beginner filmmaker journey so much easier. Thank you so much again for watching. And if there's anyone else out there that's got tips they want to share, leave them in the comments. Again, as always, if you like this video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and yeah, sorry it was a quick one, but see you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.